to Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce. I'm Lauren, Mrs. Tomato Head, on this Thursday, December 5th, 2024. Glad you could join. It is holiday time if you're watching the recording. And I've been wearing this the last couple days for some unboxings I've been doing. And for those of you that have been watching these unboxings and knowing my plight with this hat, the first day I had it, it blinks. And then yesterday I couldn't get it going. Look like a deranged elf. I think that's from a movie, that line. I'm not sure where I stole it from. But anyway, I took it apart earlier and found the batteries. There's these tiny little batteries. There's 3 of them in there, and I just adjusted them just so, and it was blinking, but now it stopped again. So that's okay. We don't need Blinky. We've got my little micro dwarf back here blinking. But thanks for joining in. This is a show I do each Thursday, just about every Thursday, where I come to you with my 10-ish tomatoes that I am obsessed with on any given week. And I missed last week. Last week was Thanksgiving here in the United States. Let me do Instagram. Hang on. I had been having trouble with getting the Instagram stream to stream more than a couple minutes. Yesterday, I tried it without the opening music, even though it's royalty free, and it seemed to work. So I'm going to try that again. I'll just start the Instagram streams after the music. So hope you're all doing well. I come to you live. For those of you that aren't regular watchers, welcome. This is an interactive show. I like sharing these varieties with you all and having a conversation. So please feel free to put comments in the chat. I try to get to many of them. I can't always get to all of them. It can be difficult to run a show and see all the comments. Also, if you are watching from Instagram, I cannot, unfortunately, I'm unable to see your comments. So if I'm not answering you and you're watching from Instagram, that's why. Let's see who we've got here. We've got lots of comments. How am I already 14 minutes behind in comments and the show hasn't started yet? I guess everybody was waiting. Hi, Heidi, Green Thumb Gardener, 65. Thanks for being here. Hi, Satya. Happy Thursday, everybody. Got a lot going on coming up in the next several days, so I'll get to that in a minute. But this is already my third or fourth time coming live this week because of those unboxings I'm doing. So many of you may be on Lauren overload, and I wouldn't blame you at all. Hi, Sherman. Happy Awesome Sauce Thursday. Always nice to see you, Lauren, and to be connected to fellow tomato heads. I couldn't agree with you more. Dee's Garden Adventures. Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. Heidi. Maybe we need to send one of these in as an audition tape for a network show, Lauren Live. Would anybody on a network really care? I mean, I think our network cares. But a network TV show, I don't know. Of course, I can make any tomato kind of sound really exciting. I have to admit, it's kind of a gift I have. And it's not an act either. When I find a tomato that I want to share with you guys, I'm legitimately excited. So, I'm many things, but one of the many things I am about things I love is I'm enthusiastic. When I see something I love, I need to share it with everybody. I want to make sure you get it. So that's why it drives me crazy when I find a variety that either I've gotten in from, somebody that kindly sent me seeds and I can't find seeds anywhere else. That drives me crazy. And I do have a couple of those today, I believe. But that's okay. We can always put it on our wish list in our group. My community on Facebook is Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. If you're not a member, please join us. I run it with Kina Tonarud and Jen Joy. We have a great time. We launched July of 2023. So just about a year and a half now. And we have a great time. If you love tomatoes as much as all we tomato heads do, please join us. Even if you're just dipping your toe into the tomato world, once we got a hold of you, you'll be a tomato head through and through. And, a lot of people don't realize, not in our community, of course, in the tomato community. By the way, who would have ever thought there was a tomato community? But I digress. People often don't know that there is anything other than red tomatoes. That's kind of what we what we grew up on, most of us, at least in the United States, big beefsteak red tomatoes in the middle of the summer, and they were delicious. And then, all of a sudden, I could attribute it in large part, I would say, to Craig LaHoulier, who somebody brought him seeds, but for making Cherokee Purple almost a household name here in the United States and abroad as well. That was kind of like, and maybe, let me know if you guys agree with me, but that was kind of like, oh, wow, this is kind of purple, not red, and gosh, it tastes amazing. So I know there were others. And in fact, if you go through Craig's book, Epic Tomatoes, he talks about a whole bunch of the heirlooms, their history, where they came from. But at least in my view, I would say Cherokee Purple was the one. It's like the gateway. It's the gateway tomato to a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about today, and a lot of the things we focus on in the group. A gateway tomato. I think that's it. But anything really can be your gateway tomato. I also think that since COVID, when food insecurity was a big thing for a while, when we were kind of just getting started, that year apparently seed sales from all the companies, like they were selling out of stock on everything because nobody knew what to expect. And so maybe, depending on where people got seeds from, maybe there was a great tomato that wasn't the red beefsteak that they tried, and then that was their gateway tomato. In fact, in the comments, if you guys want, put in what your gateway tomato was that opened your world to bigger and better things. And trust me, I'm no longer against red tomatoes because I had a couple really good ones this year, one excellent one. But there is more out there. Some people, they still can't get past it. People like my beloved green tomatoes, which I think have, my favorite Malachite box or Malachitavaya shkatulka, I think packs more flavor than just about any other tomato in the world. But that's for me, it's all subjective. But man, years ago, when I took my first bite into that, I was expecting nothing and got everything. So that wasn't really my gateway because we were growing other heirlooms prior to that, but may have been my gateway green. I'm not sure if we had grown Aunt Ruby's German green before or after that. It may have been the same year. And I wasn't averse to growing greens. I just, didn't for whatever reason. Now it's like if there's a new green that I don't know about, goes right in the cart or on my wish list. Who else we have here? Meyerway. Hi, Meyerway. Thank you for being here. Harley the Swamp Bitch. Hi, Harley. Rowena's here. Hi, Rowena. Satya. We love our Swamp Bitch, don't we, Satya? Who else? I don't want to miss anybody. Grow, Cook, Eat, Repeat. Hi, Pretty. Thanks for being here. Our friend Nicole Smith Gardening. Hi, Nicole. Jen Joy, my partner. I guess that's a good segue. I'll stop at the comments. I'm only 12 minutes behind now. Couple things to share with you before I get diving into tomatoes. Jen and I have our December Tomato Talk Live already. It seems like we just had one, and we kind of did because we did November a week late because of me, and then we did a 2-episode arch of 2 shows back to back. What was it of? It was of varieties we're excited for in 2025. And 1 episode was not enough. So we made it into 2, and that was only 2 weeks ago. But alas, our show was supposed to be the first Friday of the month, and that is tomorrow. So Jen and I decided to bring you an episode on growing tomatoes indoors. Our favorite methods, products we use, epic fails that we've done, tips, tricks. I'm a big indoor grower, as you can see. I grow micros indoors all year round. More so, definitely in the winter, because I just can't bear to be without the taste, the flavor of a fresh tomato that's not from a grocery store. There may be a couple asterisks to that statement I just made, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But in general, and so I'm always looking for micro dwarfs that have great flavor because some of them just don't. So I've kind of made it one of my life's projects is to grow every micro I can get my hands on, review it, save seeds, share seeds. And, for me, as valuable as garden real estate is outside, my indoor real estate is even more so. I don't want to take up a spot that is going to have a bland micro dwarf tomato or mini dwarf. Depending on your situation, you may be able to grow mini dwarfs too, which is anything 24 inches or 60 centimeters and under. So anyway, Jen and I are going to be talking about that tomorrow night, which is great. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be with my buddy. Jen and I, we're a great team. And then paired it with Kina, we're the tomato three musketeers, the three of us. Who else we have? Who am I missing? Hi, Kelly, Natchbill. Or Natchbill, I'm sorry. Set my alarm so I wouldn't miss it. That makes me feel good. Another thing, a couple other things I wanted to share with you that I don't share often enough, and I did talk about it yesterday in my unboxing of Forgotten Heirlooms with Ken Fry. We have two other groups besides Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. A year ago, Monday will be our year birthday, we started Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap after very high demand, people wanting a pepper group that had the same model as what we do in TLC. And our model is kindness, it's generosity, it is 0% drama, and we mean it. And I don't know peppers like I know tomatoes. I'm starting to get to know it, but the community I don't know. And so we had said no for quite a while about starting a pepper group, but then we had great people like Ken and Dorothy who volunteered to step up and run it, and they do a phenomenal job. And so Monday is our year birthday. So we're going to do a birthday party on Monday, on our actual birthday. I'll be coming to you live, and we'll be giving away seed prizes. I see a couple of you private messaged me, and I haven't been able to look at Messenger in a couple hours because I've been getting ready for the show. But if you want to donate seeds for the giveaway, and it's certainly, we never ask for donations, but a lot of people will approach us and want to give out seeds. So if you would like to, please let us know, let me know ahead of time. It's really difficult when somebody in the chat during the show says they'd like to donate something. It makes things a lot more complicated for me running the show. So as much as we would like to be able to do that very fluidly, and we certainly don't want to turn down any donations, it makes it so much easier on me on us to know ahead of time. So if you would like to donate, whether you're a vendor or a member, please, if you could private message one of us, me preferably, I guess I'll keep the list, and let us know what you would like to donate. The only thing we really ask with donations is they should be open to everyone worldwide. We try to do that with everything in our group. I can't really think of any exceptions, but so whatever it is, if you could just be open to, if somebody from outside of your country wins, we like to make that, we like to keep it open for everybody. We're all about inclusion, not exclusion. So please private message me. We will have seeds that we're giving away. Also, Ken, Dorothy, me, Jen, and Kina will be giving away seeds too. But I know a couple of you are already looking to donate, and I thank you for that. Makes it fun and exciting. Who else we have here? Satya, did I get you already? I'm not sure if I did. Hi, Satya. I think I did, but just in case. Olivia's here. Hi, Olivia. Hi, Lauren and Jen and everyone. Oh, I missed Kristen. Hi, Kristen. Thanks for being here. Seeing a lot of the same names that have been watching me the past couple days. You guys must be on Lauren overload. Jen, it's freezing and windy here in West Virginia. How's y'all's weather? I've been so busy today. I meant to message you and Kina. We had our first snow. It's just a dusting, but it was it's very windy. It's very chilly. And I woke up, I get up pretty early, like 5 or 6 a.m., and it's still dark outside. But once the light came, I got up from my cup of coffee and watching our morning TV together, Rob and I. All of a sudden, I noticed there's a white coating on the ground. So officially, our first snow, it's certainly no accumulations, but dusting on December 5th. I guess that's about right as far as timing goes. We honestly, I don't know how you guys are where you are in the world, but here I'm in zone 6B, western New Jersey, right on the border of Pennsylvania. There's like a farm country area. There's a lot of farm country areas in New Jersey. We're the Garden State, but a lot of people don't think of us like farm country. But I'm out in farm country, and why did I just bring that up? Weather. I have no idea why I just brought that up. Let us think. Weather. How's y'all weather? I have no idea. Something about, oh, I know. I was going to say we haven't had significant snowfall in probably 3 or 4 years. Sometimes we'll get a couple inches that kind of melt right away. When I was a kid, we got these massive snowfalls. Just doesn't seem to be happening. Although now that I said this out loud, you know what's coming. You know it is coming for sure. Hi, Hector. Thanks for being here. Sam's here. I kind of glossed over Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap and the story about how it got started. But if you're not a member, join us. We would love to have you. We do the same, very similar posts. We have like most wanted posts. We have Seed Seeking Saturday, Seed Sharing Sunday. Kina does a top 5. Dorothy puts a tremendous amount of work into it. I'm very grateful to her and Ken. They really just, it's like TLC, but with peppers. And from what I understand, the pepper world needs a kind, gentle group, because I hear it can be cutthroat in the pepper world. I do not know. I'll also be unveiling a new hat on Monday during the show. Not a Santa hat, but something else. So please join us over at Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap and Gardening Lovers Collective and Swap, which I forgot to put the slide up for, but we started this one a month ago, I think. We've been talking about it for a while. It was Kina's idea. And, we're kind of slowly easing into it because the 3 of us are just so busy. I can hardly find time to fit things in with the things I'm doing already. But we're getting there. Seed Seeking Saturdays up. Kina's top 5 posts are up there. I don't know if we have a most wanted post up yet or not. I forget. But anyway, we're easing into it. So please join us. If you're a member of TLC, you automatically get approved. You don't need to go through the approval process. What else we have? Oh, here's Kina. Hi, Kina. I thought of you with the snow today, Kina. I know you shared yours a couple weeks ago, I think. Sunny after the earthquake. You had an earthquake? Really? I guess out by you, that's probably typical. We had one, I think, in the spring. It was like the end of the world. We don't get earthquakes where I am at all. It felt like the world was ending. It really did. Oh, yes, Hathi, a big earthquake off the California coast by San Francisco Bay Area. Wow. Oh, and a tsunami warning. Interesting. Wow. But all good now with little damage. Well, that's good to hear. Ugh, I'm already 20 minutes behind. How does this happen? Oh, Missy's talking about the earthquake too, it looks like. Sorry I'm late. I was on a call with my friends in San Francisco. Thankfully, everyone is fine following earthquakes. Sounds like it was a big one, huh? Glad everybody's okay. Hi, Annette. Hi from Germany. Glad to have you here with us. I've got some awesome sauce varieties to talk about this week. I only have 9. I always, when I'm getting ready with the slides and all that, and I always have to make the slides, it's always like a rush to the end. And I always try to fit one more in, and I often don't. But if you've watched me before, you know I don't need 10 because I can talk for 3 hours about 3 varieties. Trying to get better about that. Hi, Cynthia. 23 degrees here in Indiana. Feels like 12. Yikes. That sounds chilly. Satya says lots of aftershocks felt 225 miles away. Yeah, wow. Oh, you cutie patootie sweetheart. Lauren overload's not a thing. Well, that's funny because I get sick of myself. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate it. Can't wait for tomorrow night to be with you again, buddy. Malachi Jen's here. Happy Thursday, awesome sauce friends. Checking in briefly. Glad you're here. And if Junie's watching, hi, Junie. And if Owen is watching, I don't know if they're home from school yet, but Owen, hey, buddy. And Ansel, if you're watching, we love our young tomato heads. Very, very grateful that you're here. Who else am I missing? I'm 20 minutes behind still. I got Rowena. Garden Cat. Hi, Garden Cat. Thanks for bringing us our tomato fix. Hello, tomato heads. What else did I have to share? I talked about tomorrow night, Tomato Talk Live. Oh, I know. Somebody sent me this over Messenger yesterday. The Greater Master Gardeners of Greater Kansas City are offering an online Zoom talk with none other than Craig, our friend Craig LaHoulier. It's in January. The tickets are free. How can I get rid of this? There we go. Tickets are free, but you do have to register through Eventbrite or something like that. And I do have the link. There's no photo or anything to share, but I'm going to put this in the chat. It's called Master Gardeners of Kansas City present Craig LaHoulier. Oh, I meant to write down the summary of it, but here I'm putting in the comments now the direct link for you to register. Now, let me pull it up so I can read a bit more. Let's see. Here we go. Oops, what happened? Here we go. It's Thursday, January 16th. Oops, that's not helpful. Thursday, January 16th. It's a bit late, even for people like me on the East Coast. It goes from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What else does it say? Talks author, gardener, educator Craig LaHoulier will share his latest thoughts on tomato growing in this hour-long Zoom talk. Jen and I can do 90 minutes with our BFF Craig. Just kidding. I totally got my ticket already. He will also discuss home tomato breeding and share the latest news from his dwarf tomato breeding project. Bring your questions and desire to grow your best tomatoes. So it's on Zoom, and over here to the right, you'll see you just need to reserve your spot, I guess, just so they can prepare. But check that out. I'm totally going to be there. And I know he wants me there because we're best friends, right? We're all best friends with Craig. So that's exciting. And I'm glad that the Master Gardeners of Kansas City sent that to me. Okay. I think that's it. Oops. Shoot. There's something. How am I going to do that? There's a little video I want to show you that goes with one of the tomatoes, but I don't know how to pause things on Instagram. I guess I just have to let it go. It'll be all right. Okay. So who wants to talk tomatoes? Oh, Hector, you were just at Barnes & Noble and found his book. It's a good one. I have a lot of tomato books. That's probably it's got to be my favorite. It's like the tomato lover's Bible. Although I really, really enjoyed the 10 Tomatoes That Changed the World. Not from it's good for tomato heads if you like knowing history of how the tomatoes came to be around the world. And it does focus on 10 specific varieties. but it's very general. That's okay. I loved it. I read it or I listened to it through twice. But if you're looking for glossy, full color photos with history behind all of our favorite heirlooms, that's the book to get. And I know some people find it at their library. I also know that you can get used copies, depending on the site. I think you can get used copies on Amazon, but there's also another, is it, Jen, I know you've gotten from them before. Is it thriftbooks.com, something like that? So maybe there's more tomato books than you realize. Oh, yeah, let's talk Gateway tomatoes. Cherokee purple, and you are so right, my Malachite twin. I had to move your mug up to make room for the tree. Malachite Jen made me this mug. Look at that. We love our green tomatoes. We love Malachite box. We have almost exactly the same taste in tomatoes, which you can kind of guess. We actually grew our friendship because of our joint love of Malachite box, before the group came along or anything. But you are so right. Cherokee purple, and then pink Berkeley tie-dye. You are absolutely right. That tomato, I don't always love Brad Gates tomatoes, especially the more recent ones. Not really a fan. However, he's like the gateway breeder, isn't he? I would say for me, he is. He's like, oh, wow, people are doing really amazing things with breeding. And now today in 2024, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm even breeding tomatoes. I'm not trying to put myself down, but Brad was the first one, I would say, who really created some pieces of art. He really did. And Berkeley pink tie-dye, it's one of my favorite tomatoes of all time. Absolutely. One of Bill Yoder's Suffer Well has pink Berkeley tie-dye in it. What's the other one? Is it Cherokee purple and pink Berkeley tie-dye? I should know this. It might be. I know it's got pink Berkeley tie-dye on it. It might be Cherokee purple. Great cross. Great tomato. Kim, hi Kim. You got that book today? That's amazing. That is awesome sauce. You will love it. You will love it. Oh, you're on the train. I'm so glad. Looks like our friend Luke is here. Hi Luke. Glad you're here. I didn't see a comment above. I see. Looks like you have joined us. Glad to see you. Your gateway was pineapple, Kristen, or otherwise known as ananas. That's a good one too. Ananas noir is also the first. I think that was the first tricolor I grew. And now, not only do I love greens, I love the tricolor greens like ananas noir, the pineapple, black pineapple. Definitely, if I see something that's got that coloring, it's going right on my grow list. Oh, this is a good one too, Garden Cat. Brad's Atomic Grape, like 5 years ago. Yeah, that is like, I find Brad's Atomic Grape to be a variety that people either love or they hate. So we started the seeds we got seeds from Baker Creek years ago. We started the seeds, and only after I had started them was getting reviews for, I think, on the Baker Creek site or maybe the Facebook group saying that they hated it. So I wasn't expecting much at all. Also, that's a seedling. If you've never grown it before, it looks like it's dying until, it's established. It really looks like it needs more water, but that's just the way it looks. We loved Brad's Atomic Grape. Wasn't expecting to, so that says a lot. Love the coloring. It's a bit crunchier than I like, but the flavor totally made up for it. So yeah, I loved it. Sam says Sterling Old German offered by Baker Creek in 2018, 2019. So interesting, Sam. I've been looking into the way that my phone's freaking out. And the way that I do, I've been looking to Sterling Old German and Sterling Old Norway. I know there's Old Norway, and then there's one called Sterling Old Norway. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming they're the same, but I don't know. Oh, Amy, that's a good one. Sun Gold. It's the first one I ever grew as a young teen. Heidi says Cherokee Purple, but it was a little bigger than a cherry and smaller than a slicer. I didn't know what to call it back then, but Lowe's carried the seedlings. I think Cherokee Purple was the gateway tomato for a lot of the gardening centers and big box stores that were offering, some Roma tomatoes, like generic Roma tomatoes, beefsteak, things like Celebrity, things like that. And then all of a sudden, at least in the United States, you start to see Cherokee Purple as established seedlings for people to bring home. Now they're getting a little better. It's still nothing like what we're used to, but they're getting better. Missy says Clooney Family Red from Forgotten Heirlooms. Did we look at that one yesterday? I don't think so. Nor do I have it. I'm going to have to look into that one. Dee says Sunrise Bumblebee. I just love that tomato. I grew that 2 years ago, I think. That is a good tomato. Hi, Rolanda. Glad you're here. Nicole Smith. These are good ones. Mr. Stripey and Purple Calabash were my gateway tomatoes back in 2011. I'm going to be talking about Purple Calabash in a little bit. So, good segue. And Sherva, another great one. Black Crim gateway tomato. If you guys have watched Craig on Tomato Talk Live with Jen and I, has he been on 2 or 3 times? I want to say he's been on 3 times. But he talks about how in the tomato world is awfully Cherokee Purple and Black Crim are often mistaken for one another. And you can tell by the cracking on it. It's, I think, radial cracking for the Cherokee Purple. Don't quote me on this. It could be the other way around, but I'm pretty sure it's radial cracking for Cherokee Purple and going down for Black Crim. Pretty sure about that. I've had years, I think I talked about this yesterday. We were talking about different climates and different growing conditions, soil and all of that for how things taste. We had a season like 4 or 5 years ago. We grew both Cherokee Purple and Black Crim. They looked exactly the same. Black Crim a little bit darker, but other than that, in fact, I took like a photo shoot of like outside, inside. I have it somewhere in my Dropbox. But then, not this past season, but the season before, we grew them both again. They couldn't have been more different. The Black Crim was much darker. And, oh, by the way, and the flavor was really similar too. When we did a taste off, Cherokee Purple won, but just barely. Then we grew them again last season, 2023, and Black Crim taste night and day. Same seeds that I saved, but completely different. So we have an interesting road with Cherokee Purple and Black Crim, but I love them both. And if I see something that has either one of those in the crosses, I'm interested. Deborah says Black Crim. Absolutely. OMG. From Kina. I have never grown Cherokee Purple. Get out of town. Interesting. I wonder if there's anything that I haven't grown that people would be surprised over. Very interesting. Well, it's delicious. I often say it's a classic for a reason. It's truly delicious. You should put it on your grow list. I know people are freaking out. Oh my God, Kina. Oh, Amy says the same thing. Me neither, Kina. Harley says, we're expecting our first freeze tonight here in Louisiana. Hopefully they're wrong. Oh, yeah. Ride it as long as you can. I hope they're wrong too. Rowena says, my gateway would have been a pink ox heart and then some Dwarf Tomato Project tomatoes after hearing Craig on a local podcast. Understandable. His enthusiasm is infectious also, which is just one of the reasons Jen and I love to have him on the show. What you see is what you get with him. He truly loves tomatoes, and we could just sit there like this, let him talk, and he just does it. For those of you that have seen the show, you know exactly what we're talking about. Okay. I'm running very behind. I just want to make sure. Oh, Linda's here. Hi, Linda. Somehow I missed your original comment. Me and my shadow, 1, 2, 3, 4. How well do micros grow like the one behind you without grow lights? Confession. When I'm not on the air, it goes back under the grow lights over there. Let's see if I can twist the camera. See him? It's where it's sister over there. Yes. So yes, they. It's just for show here. I would imagine it wouldn't do very well at all without the grow light. I have grown things on my windowsill in the kitchen, and micros, because they're stretching for the light. The light, they do get super tall. Make sure you tune into Tomato Talk Live with Jen and I tomorrow night. We're going to be talking all about growing micros and mini dwarfs inside, and maybe even others. I know Jen's attempting to grow a couple non-mini dwarfs. I think at least one in the house. I'm attempting a dwarf. Actually, I've already done a dwarf, Nano's meatball. I got one tomato from it, but I'm attempting a new one. Okay, very behind. Let's see. Anthony's here. Hi, Anthony. Glad you're here. Oh, Anthony, I finally ate my first tomato in the winter. It was Vilma from our September grow out. And what did you think, Anthony? That has been, up until recently, my favorite micro dwarf. And it may be tied for number one. I'll talk about this all tomorrow night when I talk about mine. But I love Vilma, especially grown indoors. Outside does nothing for me. But for some reason, and Kina, Jen, and I have come to this conclusion pretty recently, within the last couple of months, we think that micros taste better indoors for the most part. At least the way I grow them, I think they taste better. But I could be wrong. You would think that the real sun would, have them taste better, but I don't find that at all. Okay. Amy says Brad's Atomic Grape is my partner's favorite. Nice. I know Jess from Roots and Refuge. Honestly, I used to watch her religiously, and I just don't anymore for no other reason than lack of time. But I know she always grew Brad's. She didn't like it herself, but I think her stepdaughter loves it, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're great. Oh, hi, Lena. Glad you're here. Carbon, yes. I haven't grown carbon in probably 20 years, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I may have to put it on my grow list. I remember loving it. Gateway in general, mine is carbon and has outlasted all other purples. Chose it from Craig's recommendations in the book. Also, others probably beat this horse to death, but nice hat, Lauren. Thanks, Lena. It's supposed to blink, but it's on the blink, apparently. Hi, blah, blah. Glad you're here. I'm catching up here. Oh, hi, Karen. Glad you're here. Girls Weird Thing. That's a good one. We grew that last year. Those were big and prolific and very tasty. That's a good one for sure. Love the name too, of course. Oh, Dee got stung by a wasp. It was on my doorknob gourd. They're crazy this time of year, aren't they? Sorry to hear that. Hi, Cindy. Good morning, everyone from the Philippines. Glad you're here. Satya says, my store-bought Cherokee Purple had circular cracks, and I do believe it was actually black currant. Really? Did I have it reversed? Could have sworn the radio was Cherokee Purple, but go by what Craig said. You'd think I'd remember, because I think he says it every time he's on the show. And by the way, he also says, if you would like to be sure you have the correct seeds for Cherokee Purple, get them from Victory Seeds. He's got a relationship with them. And those came directly through Craig. Hi, Marty. Lemon Boy was my game changer. Got seeds in 2002, and it started me on the quest. Nice. I think we grew Lemon Boy a long time ago. And I think that's one that's featured in Epic Tomatoes. I know Lillian's Yellow Heirlooms in there, but I think Lemon Boy is too. I grew up, me and my Shadow 1234, I grew up on Scotia tomatoes, a local bred in Kentville, Nova Scotia. Ooh, I'm going to have to look at that. Lately, if you've been tuning in, you know that my obsession for the moment and what I'll be growing a lot of next year are pink tomatoes from Spain, pink or reds. A friend from Germany, actually 2 friends, a friend from Germany, 3 friends, I'm sorry, one from Spain, one from Germany, and then one from France. They've all hooked me up recently with great sounding Spanish tomatoes. And the more research I do on them, diving deep, the more I'm obsessed with them. So I'll be talking about a couple of them today, as a matter of fact. Verde de las Landas, I've talked about. I probably can't shut up about it every week. It's a green when ripe, probably in my top 3 of most anticipated varieties of 2025. My friend from Germany told me about that one. And there's quite a few. I think my grow list is filling up. Missy, I'm growing 3 dwarfs inside. So far, doing great. Good to hear it. I started more nanos. My one plant gave me 1 tomato, but boy, it's a great tomato. And it obviously can be grown inside. I'm going to see if it grows a little better this time around. Shervis never grown Cherokee Purple either, because everyone else grows it, so I still get to enjoy some every year and use that space to grow something else, as long as you've tasted it. But I agree, there's something inside of me that I think I'm overcoming it, but if I know everybody else is growing it, I'm like, I'll move on to something else that others have not grown. That way I can share seeds. And this was going to be the year where I went back to a lot of our favorites. I was going to do Berkeley Pink, and I still might, but Captain Lucky, Berkeley Pink Tie-Dye, Cherokee Purple. Malachi Box is a given every year. That one never changes. But now that I'm finding more and more new things to put on the list, I think I'm taking Dwarf Awesome. Lena, if you're still watching, I know we both love Dwarf Awesome. I think I reviewed it on my Instagram page right around the same time you did a duel with that, and maybe Brandy Fred, maybe another one too. I forget. That's an excellent tomato, and I give so many seeds out that I'm running low, so I really want to grow that again. Scotia tomato is the norm. It was originally bred in Nova Scotia, so they're quite popular as a grow standard. Interesting. I'm not familiar with it. I'm going to have to look it up. Blah, blah. I've been growing a dwarf brandywine inside, 3 feet tall, no flowers. Ugh. You know what I started recently, but I may not follow through with it? The Rosita Brandywine Cherry. Where did I get those? I think they came from, was it Kids Seed Company? Gosh, I don't know. They were in one of the recent unboxings I did. I think it was Kids Seed Company. No, it wasn't. Oh, shoot. I can't think of the name right now. Common Sense Seeds? Maybe it was Common Sense Seeds. It was either Kids Seed Company or Common Sense Seeds. It says it only gets to be about 2 feet tall and has the red cherries that have brandywine in them. So I'm going to attempt it. I can already, if you've grown dwarfs, micros, and regular tomatoes from seed, and I'm sure a lot of you have, you can tell pretty much from the seedling stage if it's going to be really big or stay small. And I can tell it's going to get probably bigger than I want. So I'll play it out for another couple weeks and see. It always sounds like a good idea at the time, but even a 20-inch tall tomato can be, I've got the grow lights, but it can be a pain. I grew last year, what was it? Tutti Frutti Mandarin, which is a delicious cherry and supposed to be a dwarf. That got to be about 30 inches tall. It was a bit much to handle. Oh, Lena, that is on my grow list because of you, Glorious Treat. Excuse me. And I think Craig's talked about it too, right? Glorious Treat is an excellent follow-up to Awesome. Sounds good. It's like awesome in a heart form. I know you like your hearts. That is definitely on my grow list and has been since the spring, I think, or maybe early summer because you told me about it. So I can't wait. Cannot wait because I loved Dwarf Awesome. Oh, that's where my confusion is, Haley. Thank you. Concentric cracks are circular. Radial cracks are vertical. That's funny. I thought it was the other way around, but I think it's the radial one that somebody correct me because I don't want to be giving out wrong information. I'm horrified that I don't know this off the top of my head. I could have sworn that Craig said radial cracks are Cherokee, but one of you out there can correct me. I don't want to give wrong information. It's funny, radial, I would assume, would be circular, but concentric circles make sense. Okay. My happy place. Hi, tomato heads. Hi there. Thanks for joining in. All right. We're almost an hour in. Should we get to some tomatoes already? I guess we are talking tomatoes, but, and let me just show this once again in case you're joining us late. On Monday, our sister group, Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap, will be celebrating our 1-year birthday, and I will be doing a live show. Similar to this, we will be giving away, I should say, not just me. We'll be giving away seed prizes, celebrating the group. All the admins, Ken, Dorothy, me, Keena, and Jen, we're going to unveil our top 3 peppers of the year. I have not posted my peppers from 2024 yet, or my micros, or lawn keepers. I'm a bit behind. So we'll be doing that, but also giving away seed prizes. And I mentioned earlier in the episode, if you are interested, if you're a vendor or a member interested in donating seeds, that would be wonderful. We never ask for donations, but I know many of you come to us privately and want to. If you do, please let us know prior to Monday at showtime. It's difficult as much as we want to take donations when we're live. It makes things really difficult and confusing for us. So if you can just private message me or one of the other admins and let us know, we can write it down and we'll plan for you. The only thing we request is that they're made available to outside your country as well. And then finally, again, tomorrow is our December episode of Tomato Talk Live that Jen and I will be talking about, much what we were just talking about, growing tomatoes indoors, and what we do, the products we use. I can't wait. Jen suggested the topic, and it's absolutely perfect. Perfect. All right, now I'm getting more confused. Randy, radial cracks are cracks on the stem end in a circle. That's kind of what I thought. Interesting. And then what's concentric exactly? Cynthia says, I have Dainty Isabel and Speckled Heart growing indoors right now alongside the micros from Micropalooza. I have to put up a Micropalooza update post. I haven't done it in a few weeks. I've started Leprechaun Robs, named after my Rob from Tomato Eden. I only noticed recently that it's a dwarf. I've never grown any of the leprechauns, and I didn't know they're all dwarfs. I think Jen told me. So I'm going to attempt to grow Leprechaun Robs. What is it? F3, I think. Named after my honey. Okay, now let's get to some tomatoes. Hopefully. Okay. So this first one, should I say, well, the story's fantastic. Let's just say that. The story's fantastic. This was given to me by a member. And I thank you. I promised I wouldn't say the name because, as much as we know, we need to write down, get a notebook and a pen, write down things that are interesting to you during my shows, add them to Seed Seeking Saturday. We give the opportunity for 5 new ones each week, every single Saturday, or you can repeat them too. And we also have a Most Wanted post. You can always have one variety up at all times in Most Wanted, if and when you find it, and we hope you do. You can take that one down and put a brand new one. So we offer really like 6 different varieties you can put up at all times. So rather than, directly asking people for seeds, it's always best if you write it down and ask on Seed Seeking Saturday. And then the person that, gave whoever me the seeds, it's up to them whether they feel like they can spare more. Anyway, this is a good one. Not that. Here we go. Mrs. Gorby. I don't even know where to begin. I could cry with the story of this, and I will divulge more, but before I get into it, thank you. I know you're watching. Thank you for trusting me with these seeds and thinking of me with these seeds. Mrs. Gorby is 96 years old. Her name is Sybil Gorby. And the note that came with them shared how special they are. And it turns out you can find the story at many places on the internet. She is 92 years old. She's been growing the same variety since 1965. 1965. Keep saving seeds. These things are the size of a pumpkin, a small pumpkin. Look, you can see how huge they are. That is Mrs. Gorby in the picture. And that is tomato next to her hand, which obviously shows how big it is. Cynthia grew it. My friend grew it this year, and being a new gardener, plus it being a lousy weather year, she only got a few fruits and so kindly sent seeds to me. She knew I would love the story, and I do. There's a video on Instagram put out by Lowe's that I want to share with you. Hopefully. Oh, it didn't start.
Just large tomatoes that needs.
Hang on. Bear with me. Hopefully I can get the sound going. I don't know how to rewind these reels on Instagram. But we'll just wait a minute because I want you guys to hear it. It's spectacular. Isn't she cute? Hang on, almost done. At the beginning here.
It's a beautiful day for things to grow. Everybody in town looks forward to my tomatoes. I've been planting the same seeds since 1965.
And they were such delicious, large tomatoes that Mom kept the seeds. She's raised them every year since I was little, and I'm almost going to be 60 years old soon.
We're here today just to help Mrs. Gorby get her garden cleaned up a little bit.
That is beautiful.
The associates of Lowe's came today and they made Mom so happy. She was in tears.
I don't deserve all this.
It's been a pleasure.
That's one big thing I love about working for Lowe's is that we get to do stuff like this and give back to the community a little bit that has given us so much.
1, 2, 3.
How adorbs is that? Let me tell you a little bit more about this story, but
It's a beautiful day.
if you Google Gorby tomato or Mrs. Gorby, there's many places. I think Washington Post did an article about her. I found a link to an article I thought I'd share with you guys, I think. Yes. I'm going to put it in the comments. You guys can look at it and read yourself if you haven't already Googled. Hang on. Uh-oh, what happened? Where's my slideshow? There she is. Okay. 92-year-old tomato farmer, been growing the same seed lineage for 58 years. She's from Tyler County, West Virginia. Jen, did you know about Mrs. Gorby and her tomato? Every spring she cultivates seeds in her garden. By mid-August, she's rewarded with plump, shiny, and delicious tomatoes. She believes there's something exceptional about these seeds and the tomatoes they yield year after year. She still lives on the same farm where she and her late husband built a home 60 years ago. She's had a green thumb since she was a teenager, and her love for gardening began while helping to look after her neighbor's garden. Her daughter Sandy grew up eating the heirloom tomatoes, believes there's something magical about them. According to the Washington Post, sometimes the seeds turn into giant heirloom tomatoes, including one from... Oh, I guess... I'm like, how does it turn into an heirloom? But I guess meaning giant. I mean, if you look at this picture from the article, and I was going to put this one too, this might... what's happening? This one here, can you see this one? Oops. Shows you just how big this thing is. It looks like she's ready to topple over with her tomato. So boy, is this one special. I can't wait to grow it. I'm so excited for the story. Has anybody grown it? She doesn't officially know, and I've read this in other articles, what the variety was from 1965. So it's been called Mrs. Gorby, the Mrs. Gorby tomato. All right, we're still talking about cracks. Has anybody grown it? Anybody heard of Mrs. Gorby? I did not say where the seeds are available. I heard that at one time the daughter was giving seeds away. I don't remember where in my travels I found it. Heard that it was several years ago, so I don't know if she is still growing. Where's my... Aw. Somehow I lost my... Oh, here it is. My snowflakes. I don't know, honestly, where you can get seeds, but possibly other people in the group have it. Or if you Google, you can see if maybe perhaps the daughter, whose name looks like it's Sandy, perhaps she's still giving them out. But that's a story I can't wait to preserve, and I thank you for sharing this with me. Eva, Mrs. Gorby's tomato I need, right? Right. I should write to her. I should write to Mrs. Gorby or her daughter and just tell her we featured her tomato on my show. I bet she'd be excited about that. I would like to hope she would be. Hector says, my plan next season is to grow tomatoes over 1 to 2 pounds. You definitely want to grow large membranous. I got those seeds from Carolina's Paradise. That was 2.5 pounds. It was our first over 1 pound. No, I'm sorry, first over 2 pounds. We've had many over 1 pound. First over 2 pounds, and it was nearing in on 3 pounds. It was a good one. Drew, she's the OG of tomato lovers. She is. She's our girl, right? So cute. If anybody does find... Mrs. Gorby's talking to me here. If anybody does find that the daughter's giving away seeds somewhere, you can please let me know, or maybe put a post in the group, because I'm sure there'll be others who want them too. Okay, bye, Mrs. Gorby. Can't wait to grow your tomato. This next one I've been wanting to feature for several weeks. As soon as I found out about it, actually probably more like 6 to 8 weeks, more than a few weeks. Soon as I came across it, I made sure, well, I didn't make sure of anything. I prayed that I could order it. They're from France. Excuse me. I had never ordered from them before. And the tomato is exclusive to this vendor. I was going to hold off on mentioning it again. I placed 2 orders because that's what I do. I got 1 envelope in. I was going to wait for the second one, and I still plan on doing an unboxing. But I did get the first envelope in, and this is in it. This is from a vendor called Tomato Fanny from France. How do we get that off? And Nicole Smith Gardening. This has purple calabash in the cross. It's purple calabash and brandywine apricot. Those of you who know me know that this looks incredibly like a Lauren tomato right off the bat. It's bred by Stephanie Bidot of France. She's the one that owns Tomato Fanny. Now, I have the link to get them, but it was taking me, and I've had this before going to the site, it was taking me to it was like rerouting me to a site that said like warning or something like that. Let me try to put it up again and see if it's working now. She has 3 other varieties that are exclusive to her also that she bred. And oh, it might be working. Yeah, it's working. Okay. I will put the link in the comments. If you want to wait for me to do an unboxing, I can tell you, everything about ordering and receiving it in. I just put in the comments the link to purchase this from Tomato Fanny. It's exclusive to Tomato Fanny, created by Stephanie Bidon. Seasonal variety with green chocolate interior. That interior, I love tomatoes that have like kind of a reddish pink on the outside and then the green tricolor on the inside. My Jarson 10 tricolor was like that this year. It was phenomenal. Potato leaf, fruits 120 to 300 grams, fleshy with many branches, very rich and tangy flavor. Got to grow it. Reproducible seeds, cross of purple calabash, brandywine apricot, and Stephanie told me this was her very first cross. So that's exciting. Yes, I agree, Cynthia. Stunning looking tomato. Burke TF, meaning Tomato Fanny. The other 3 varieties that are of hers that you can find at the website too, they end in TF also. It seems like she's wanting to include that in the name versus just Burke, but I could be wrong. It could just be Burke, but you won't find it anywhere else. You can only find it there. Burke sounds so cool. Yeah, purple calabash. I haven't grown that in many years too. And brandywine apricot. What an interesting cross for her to even think of that is really interesting. But I will just show you. I've got many more seeds coming in, but they arrived. That's what the package looks like. But I'm hoping next week I can do an unboxing. I have a lot of unboxings to get to. But this was a new one to me, a new company. And sometimes the links just don't seem to work. In fact, after I ordered, I couldn't get the links to work again. And I thought, I've been taken advantage of. But maybe there's just something with the site. It's all fine now. Cynthia, that is a stunning look. Oh, we already said that. And Eva, oh my God, I agree. I really wanted to hold off till I did an unboxing, but I just can't hold in my excitement anymore for Burke TF. Okay, what's next? I keep mentioning somebody from Spain, somebody from Germany, somebody from France who keeps hooking me up with these amazing Spanish tomatoes. And this is the one, this is my friend from Spain. This is called Huevo de Toro, or bull's egg. I've also seen it listed as bull's balls. This is apparently a very famous tomato in Spain. In fact, they've founded an organization, or an association rather, specifically for this pink tomato. It is called the Huevo Toro Tomato Fruit and Vegetable Garden Association, and it was born to promote the Huevo de Toro tomato, and it says increasing the added value. I'm not sure how you do that exactly. But they also sell it in stores, and I'm not sure where, obviously in Spain. But I want to talk to you a little bit more about a tomato that Kina shared in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap yesterday that she got at a store. Maybe this is a good segue for that. So they're in my quest to get all these wonderful Spanish pinks and greens, anything Spanish really. I've noticed that a lot of them have like copyright marks next to them, or they're sold in stores. This one I couldn't find a copyright. They do have the association, but it doesn't mean that they are necessarily hybrids, and this one is not. Kina shared one that she picked up at her local store that looks amazing. I'm actually going to be talking about that next. But my point of bringing that up is that apparently in Spain, like this association, they like to protect these special varieties, and Huevo de Toro, or bull's egg, is one of them. These are supposed to get huge. And I remember talking to Jen about that because I know she likes her big tomatoes. If you Google it, the Malaga Gastronomy Guide, so this is a gastronomy guide from Spain, says the bull's egg is the tomato that really tastes like a tomato. It's a native variety grown outdoors in the Guadalhorce Valley, the main fruit and vegetable growing area in Malaga. Depending on the year, in the summer months, you can find them in many restaurants that focus on this local product from the Malaga orchard. Large heart-shaped, range from 300 to 600 grams a piece, with some being produced that exceed 1 kilo. The best thing about the bull's egg is its flesh, which has a creamy, smooth texture, very few seeds, has light, fresh aromas, as well as a medium persistence in the mouth, perfect balance between its acidity and sweetness. These attributes have made it a variety of exceptional quality, highly appreciated by those who value seasonal and local produce. I found a vendor who has it, but I'm not going to share the link because a good friend of mine from the group, who we share seeds together quite a bit, he told me he just placed an order from them, and unless something's changed in the past few days, he can't get a hold of them. It could be, translation issues. He's waiting for an email from them to make sure the order went through. So I'm going to hold off. You can Google on your own, but I don't want to be the one to give the link to a vendor that could be a problem. I'm not sure. However, in the listing for it from this place, say it's a traditional tomato variety grown in the Malaga region of Spain, distinguished by its large size. It's known for its exceptionally sweet flavor, juicy, seedless flesh, lush, juicy, fleshy tomato, pure tomato flavor, sweet and acidic touches, thin skin. Me, I like thin skin. And determinate grows to be 1.5 meters, fruits up to 1 kilogram. Anybody grown this? Oh, Eva, of course. Of course. I grew Huevo de Toro 5 years ago, and it was big with great flavor. Ooh. I think it's already on my grow list, but you've just cemented that for sure. Good to know. I had never heard of it until I opened. My friend from Spain just gave me so many wonderful Spanish varieties that I didn't choose. He just chose them for me, and this was one of them. Good to know. Thank you, Eva. Bull's egg funny. Yep. Or bull's balls. So that's Huevo de Toro. Thank you, Eva. I should always assume you're here, or we know you're here when I start talking tomatoes and I know you grow it. Good to know. And you can see the picture in the bottom right. It's a little smaller, but you can see the interior there. That is one beautiful tomato. Definitely on my grow list for next year. Okay, so now I mentioned Kina putting a variety she got from her local grocery store in Norway, a variety that is put out by a company that I've talked about some of their varieties before. It's called Primora. This does have a copyright or a trademark with it, rather, but it is an heirloom. It's not an F1 hybrid. All three of these pictures came from Kina, who gave me her permission. But if you Google it, you will find, big trays of grocery stores selling this tomato. Kina said it's very good. I don't think my grocery store here in the United States carries things like this. But for me, and I think I've mentioned it on other broadcasts too, but I view the company that bred this one, also a variety that's much talked about from Spain called Amela, Amela, which I'm definitely growing next year. I got non-hybrid seeds for that from my friend in Germany. They put out that also, La Palma. And it seems like what they're going for is similar to what Fred Hempel was going for, or Mark McCaslin of Frog's Leap Farm, to get to breed tomatoes or contribute to fostering the knowledge of these tomatoes that can withstand transport. And so people in regular food markets, grocery stores, can enjoy heirloom flavor without, a traditional heirloom would go bad very quickly, wouldn't withstand transportation. So lucky for us, Kina got these. I had never heard of it and put these on my radar. It is beautiful, the coloring. And sometimes I found when I get heirloom, where they call it heirloom seeds in the groceries, or heirloom tomatoes rather, in the grocery store, and they've got some things that look similar to this, but they just don't taste the same. Better than what you standardly get, but just don't taste the same. But it sounds like this is an exception. So I don't know. I think somebody in the group may have said that Aldi has it. If they don't have this one, maybe similar things. I know they have Aldi's here in the United States. I'm not sure where else. So that's Primora. It is from the Marmande family of tomatoes. Distinctive ribbed shape, attractive brown color, deep green color, unique with an irresistible flavor, perfect balance of sweetness and acidity with a high concentration of vitamins. Discover its unbeatable crisp texture and unique flavor. The plants get up to 6 feet tall. It's an heirloom tomato variety famous for its savory taste. Produces ribbed and slightly flattened fruits, the color of which is brown with a tinge of green at the shoulder. The flesh doesn't have many seeds, tastes a bit sweet with a soft taste that doesn't overdo it. Ornamental flesh that melts in the mouth, juicy, not a trace of acidity. This is a variety that children will find very appealing. Forget the children. First of all, my children are grown, but I want to taste Primora. Heidi, Aldi has the Adora tomato right now. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Good to know. I hear it's fantastic. I just never go to Aldi. I went once, actually, after you were over. I went because they were selling the Empress, the purple tomatoes. And while I didn't get any, Empress is the name of the Norfolk Healthy Produce of the purple tomato. It's what they sell it under. I was curious what else they had if they were selling the Empress. I don't know if I saw this one, though. I think my Spanish obsession came, I only went like 2 months ago. But good for them for selling a meal. It's supposed to be good. Oh, it is so good, says Heidi. Good to know. Good to know. My German friend got me non-hybrid seeds from the vendor or the producer of that. So I'm super excited. Hopefully they taste good. All these Spanish varieties keep hitting me. It's very exciting. And so now I've got another one. And this I'm going to skip right to. I haven't done a most wanted here in the group in a while, or in the show for a while, because like I mentioned earlier, I'm always scrambling to get one more variety in that I forget the most wanted. But this can be both. It's one I want to focus on, and it's my most wanted. And it's another one from Spain called Habaneras. And I can't find it anywhere. Oh, did I have a link for... I may have had a link for Primora. Let's see here. Nope. I do have a link, however, to the Association for the Huevo de Toro. I will give you that. Put that right in the comments here. Let me tell you about Habaneras. And this keeps happening with these Spanish varieties that I come across. They win some kind of big, like, best of tomato in Spain contest, and then I have to have it. This is one of those. Habaneras, it's from a small town in Cantabria, proclaimed, this was 2021, I think, proclaimed this weekend as the best tomato in Spain at the second National Fair of Old Tomatoes. Along with the winning tomato, the red tomato from Bezana completed the podium as the best Cantabrian tomato, and the green zebra tomato as the best international variety. So I think this article was from 2021. So knowing that, and I've read other things on the internet when I Google saying it's one of the best tomatoes you can find from Spain. So, of course, naturally, I'm looking for it. So if anybody's grown it, Eva, have you grown it? Is it, Anne? Adora is the same as Sweet Marmande? Are you sure about that? Adora typically is a hybrid. Sweet Marmande is not, but educate me. I could be wrong. I see a trip to Spain in your future. No kidding, right? It's been between Portugal and Spain for where I want to go. Honestly, I want to go back to Italy, but the tomatoes may be winning me over in Spain for sure. Eva says, no, you have not grown it. Interesting. uh, and says Sweet Marmande is an F1. Okay. All right, so that's Abanias, otherwise known as my most wanted. I think we're done with the Spanish ones for today. This next one I've had on my wish list. I came across it from a Russian site several months ago, probably beginning of the season. It seems like forever when you have things on your wish list, does it not? I feel like it's been on my wish list forever. Because honestly, if I can find it to purchase somewhere, I buy it. So my wish list is kind of hard. But places have been popping up and selling it. So do I have it in hand? I don't think they're in hand yet. But TOMATO AWESOMESAUCE has it. They're sold out actually. Tomato Eden has it. They are in stock. This is called Baltic chocolate. Hello, Baltic chocolate. Don't know origin. I got compiled 3 different vendors who sell it, and nobody has any information about origin. But the site that I originally found it from is Russian. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's a tall mid-season variety, heart-shaped tomatoes, tricolor with anthocyanin, burgundy orange with green gel, aromatic pulp with fruit and berry notes, sweet. And in the 3 sites, that fruit with berry notes, unless they copy off of each other, that tends to be a consistent thing that is said from these vendors. Tomato Eden has this listed as an F2, which is interesting. The other 2 sites, Tomato AWESOMESAUCE and I think it's domashipomidor.ru, they did not have it listed as an F2. So I tend to trust Tatiana. She's really, really good with divulging that stuff, much like Ken from Forgotten Heirlooms during my unboxing yesterday. So this very well could be an F2, but if you get seeds from Tomato Eden, they are sure to be an F2. And I do have a link, a direct link. Let me find it. I was, up until TOMATO AWESOMESAUCE got them in, or I noticed them in stock there, I was starting to give up. But then they had it, and then I noticed Tomato Eden just put it up within the last week. Okay, I am putting up the direct link to Baltic chocolate. Just put it in the comments. Heidi, tell Rob I'll carry the bags. Done deal. Satya, love that green gel. You and me both. The photos on Tomato Eden are not quite as sexy as these photos, which I got from Domash and IY Pomidor. But that doesn't matter. It's a spectacular tomato. The other 2 places I'd found it, Tomato AWESOMESAUCE, which is out of stock, they show the heart, they show the top, which has a bit more antho on it. But antho schmantho, sometimes it's non-detectable for me. Other times it's overwhelming. I'm going to go opt with the non-detectable and hope for the best because this looks spectacular and it looks just like a Lauren tomato. Eva, you can be in charge of the carry-on. Sounds good. Let's go to Spain. My daughter Riley, many of you probably know, she's just ending a 9-month contract playing Cinderella, which I'm not really supposed to say, but I keep trying to work around it. It's too much of a pain. She's Cinderella on the Disney Wish cruise line, which is their newest one, although their brand new one comes out in a couple weeks, I think. So she's been doing that, and she comes home on the 16th, and I could cry just talking about it and thinking about it. Missed her a lot. But her experience with Disney, working for Disney and being talent on this cruise, she thinks she may have one more contract in her, she says. So she may do something next year. And I don't know if they're doing Spain, but I know they're doing something around Italy. I'll have to see if she's Cinderella, see if Cindy's got the pull to do a cruise to Spain. Although honestly, I don't want to be on a cruise ship if I'm in Spain. I want to go to the local farmers markets and just stock up. All I'll bring is a toothbrush and my medication. I'll leave the bags empty just to pile on the tomatoes. Cindy, hey Cindy, I wonder how many people would ever call a tomato sexy besides us tomato geeks. I know it, But if I use that word, you guys know exactly what I mean, don't you? Don't you? When that whole stuff went down with Baker Creek and the purple tomato, if you missed it, be glad, because it was too much drama. But I was saying that they went through some drama. They weren't supposed to sell it. They got the seeds in a not, it's supposed to be exclusive to Norfolk Healthy Produce. And they had, I think, the picture of this tomato on the cover of their catalog. And I was telling people they just wanted a sexy tomato to put on the cover of the catalog. Maybe it was just the digital catalog. I don't think anything in print ever came out, but perhaps I'm wrong. But yeah, tomatoes can be sexy, and Baltic chocolate is sexy. And I wasn't going to feature this one, but it seems like a natural progression. Tatiana at Tomato Eden, the same day she listed Baltic chocolate, she listed blue Baltic chocolate, F2, and says that this is a random cross-pollination. She also said I should go back to Baltic chocolate. The other two sites did not say this, but Tatiana at Tomato Eden says that this one, Baltic chocolate, is not stable, which makes sense if it's an F2. Although honestly, the other pictures I've seen, and I just saw another great photo on Instagram today by none of those vendors, and it looked very consistent to what I just showed you. So, but it still could be unstable totally. There's a blue Baltic chocolate from this random cross-pollination. I believe she's the only one that has it. So did I put the link to that? Let's see. I think I did. If you go on her site often and keep up with her newest stuff, I mean, there's some weeks she just posts so much, you will see it. But let me put it in the comments. This would be a great one. Well, both of them I think would be a great one to grow for, to experiment. Although honestly, the other one, the regular one, looks better to me. But for you antho lovers, this might be really great. I love the interior and how that looks. I just put the link to blue Baltic chocolate in the comments. Oh, Satya, you've got a collector's item. Baker Creek catalog did come out in print. I have that catalog. Well, if you have it, I must have it too. That was bad. Dee's covering your peppers for the night. Good. Okay, if you arrived late, speaking of peppers, Monday is our year anniversary of Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap, and I will be doing a live show where we'll be giving away prizes and all that good stuff. I can't believe it's been a year. And I recognized this during my show last night, or my unboxing with Forgotten Heirlooms, and then Dorothy messaged me not an hour later. She's like, oh yeah, it's like now. So I hope you can join me, same usual time, 4 p.m. Eastern, for our celebration of Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap. If you would like to donate anything towards seed prizes, please message me or any of the admins privately so I can know ahead of time. Everybody's saying they've got the catalog also. Okay, what's next? I think I only have 2 more. Yes. This one I can't believe I have not featured before. I'm sure I must have at one point when I've talked exclusively about Bill Yoder varieties, because I'm always talking about Bill Yoder varieties because he's a very talented breeder. I mean, talk about sexy tomatoes. Sofia Sakova, Bill Yoder, they've got the sexy tomato market covered. And this one was on my wish list as soon as he unveiled it. It's another one from the Depeche Mode collection that he has released later than the other ones, which I grew them all thanks to Linda this past season. This is a late edition. Hello, blasphemous rumors. Come on. Lately, it seems like I'm just going from reds and pinks right to the green tricolors. Nothing in between. I'm not a huge fan of yellows and oranges, but if they're bicolor, they can be good. Marzipan Gold was actually very good this year. E.T. was pretty good too. But anyway, blasphemous rumors, latest to the Bill Yoder collection. He's the only one that sells them at this point. So if you want to get seeds, he only sells through Facebook. He is in our group, our friend Bill Yoder. So you can click on his name, send him a private message. He'll give you his email address, and you can buy his all new Duran Duran collection, which I'm a Duranie, so this is super special. And then everything else he has. He said he's out of a few things. He's out of What You Want, which is one of the Beastie Boys things, I believe. He has more coming. What else did he say he's out of? I think he's out of Purple Rain also. That one is a big seller for good reason. It's a great tomato. So, but let's talk about Blasphemous Rumors. It's an early maturing and very productive bicolor with great flavor. And this is from his Facebook listing for it. He says, if you like Captain Lucky, Ananas Noir, Copper River, then you will love this one. The name Blasphemous Rumors is a reference to those that believe that a tomato that is any color other than red, it's considered blasphemy. He and I talk about this quite frequently, about like, how can people not, like greens or even try to taste greens? I do get it. We eat with our eyes first, don't we? It's all, I mean, if Blasphemous Rumors didn't look like this, would I be growing it? Maybe yes, because it's one of Bill's, but I can't possibly grow all of Bill's next year because he's got so many new ones. But honestly, it's the looks of this one sold me. So I do get, how greens can turn people off. But do a blind taste test. You will be turned around forever. He added in something other personal that I don't even get, so I'm sure you guys wouldn't get it. You can add this to my list of offenses. It sure is hot in my greenhouse. Anyway, early variety, which I didn't realize, or if I did realize, not until now, but I've grown every other Depeche Mode, so I've got to grow this one. Who else is growing this next year? I know many of us purchased from Bill, and I think he still has these in stock. Oh, Blasphemous Rumors looks like it belongs in my garden. I agree. Kelly, I just popped an Evita microdwarf in my mouth. All this tomato talk got me wanting to eat a freshly picked tomato. My Micropalooza tomatoes are doing really well. I'm so glad to hear that. I have to remember to put up the progress post. It's been like 3 weeks. I'm terrible. But I know so many of you are putting your progress and other things, and I apologize for that. I'm supposed to do it every Friday, but just been a little bit busy. I grew a Vita last year. What did you think of it, Kelly? I keep saying this every week, but I'm quite enjoying my long keepers, my Banya Bufar long keepers. They look great. I mean, some of them went, but for popping in my mouth, they're really very tasty. Also, DeCerbo Toscano Bumbolino is delicious, and that's got like an 8 bricks. But I don't have as many of those as Banya Bufar. Rowena's growing it next year. Absolutely. Is this not a sexy tomato? It's a sexy tomato. Yes, Missy, I agree. Greens were always for fried tomatoes for me growing up. And I can see how, if people have grown or have eaten fried green tomatoes, I can see where many would think that it's just tart, like an unripe tomato. You can do fried green tomatoes with a green tomato, but it would just turn to mush. You really need underripe tomatoes. They're like a thing of the gods. I love fried green tomatoes. But it's surprising, and not all greens, of course, that would be impossible, but there's some greens out there and things that look like this that have so much flavor, like Malachite Box. And I'm really, really keeping my fingers crossed for Verde de las Landas. My friend from Germany says it's better than Malachite Box, so that's a high standard. Cindy says, I like all tomatoes. I've only grown one in my life that I despised. Was it Black Beauty by chance? I think you've told me this before, but I forget. That Dances with Smurfs and OSU Blue were my biggest spitters. Black Strawberry was kind of a spitter too. Eva says Blasphemous Rumors. Wow. Oh, it was donkey's ears. Interesting. Do tell us why, Cindy. Very curious. Am I right that that's a red? Is that like a red Roma? Tell me. I want to know. Shock, shock and awe. You haven't grown malachite box? Oh, my friend. It's been a while since I've sent you seeds for anything, and I definitely need to load you up with some things, especially this one. And my first indeterminate cross is a cross of malachite box and dwarf purple heartthrob, which I've got the F. No, I decided to try growing the F1s. I only just crossed it this summer. I don't know if I don't think the likelihood is big that it will be a dwarf, but it could. So I thought I'd give it a try. Oh, Kelly, this hurts. I don't understand why I didn't order blasphemous rumors when I made my bill order. I understand. Why? Because everything, his pictures are just like overwhelming. Totally overwhelming in a good way. It's hard to narrow it down. So maybe you can put it in Seed Seeking Saturday or your most wanted and somebody has ordered extras. This looks fantastic. Okay, this last one I want to, oh, did I not tell you that, Sathya? Yes, that was my first, I've crossed many micros at this point, but yeah, that was my first, I don't want to say my big girl cross, because honestly, crossing micros I find is much harder than the indeterminates. The flowers are tiny, they fall off. It's much more intricate work, I find. But that's my first indeterminate dwarf combo. I'm really excited to see how it comes out. I think we talked about it last time Craig was on the show where we were talking about genetics. Kina will remember more than I if she's still awake. And probably Jen too. They've got great memories, especially Kina. I think he said it will likely be red. Or no, he said it could be green too. Kina, what did he say? It wasn't anything super exciting, but honestly, I don't care how it looks. I'm going for flavor. If it's a dwarf, that would be great. And maybe in growing out a lot of the F1s are all going to be the same. We'll see what happens. Oh, Missy, I think I did know this. You know, if I could steer you towards one, of course it would be malachite box. Or have a friend do it. I know it's risky when you're taking up valuable garden real estate, but I promise you, I don't think I've steered anybody wrong with malachite box. If I have, and you didn't think it was great, put it in the comments. Not going to chastise you or anything. I'm just curious. I mean, it's bound to happen because taste is subjective. We all like different things. If we all like the same thing, we would all be talking about the same tomatoes. Good question, Rolanda. He does not have a website. You can place an order, reach out to him through Facebook. So just send him a message via Facebook Messenger. He will give you his email address and or private message me. I can give you his email address, and then you can see his varieties on his Facebook page. But I think he's really far behind in friending people. I think he's been posting a lot more lately, and I don't know if he's making it private or public. He was making some of them public. But private message me. I'll give you his email address, and then he can make sure you see pictures. But you definitely want blasphemous rumors, that's for sure. Oh, Lisa, that's my cross. I'm crossing malachite dwarf purple heartthrob. I crossed it this summer, so I've just started. I don't know why I didn't start earlier. I guess because I thought, well, I have to wait for the summer to grow out the F1 and hoping that it crossed. I'm pretty sure it did. I don't know why I say that. I just like doused in pollen, so I'd be surprised if it didn't. But yeah, that will be mine. And verdict is still out, what it looks like and tastes like and all of that. But I think he definitely said red. I'm pretty sure too, but then Kina told me the other day it could be green. I thought he said red too. I don't care. Either way. Blah blah says I grew Black Beauty this summer and didn't care for the flavor maybe. Yeah, that's a sexy tomato, sexy looking tomato, but I just, way too much antho for me. To me, it tastes like soap, and I just don't like it. Missy going to look for malachite box for next year. Kelly agrees with me. Malachite box was delicious. My first ever. Oh, yay. GWR tomato. I was scared to eat a green tomato. It's kind of funny, right? Because that looks wise, it looks like nothing special. Just a green tomato, little amber hue to it when fully ripe. There are many people who don't, or who are confused how you can tell that they're ripe. For me, it's easy to tell. Most of the green when ripe will actually turn that amber color, and you can tell easily by squeezing. There's a few that stay bright green, but most of them seem to have that amber. But I think you'll be really happy. Tomato, aka Luke Van Doren, says, I like Romo via Baba even more. I grew that this summer, Baba Room, it's also known as. When it's so ripe, it changes color. I liked it. I didn't love it. Wanted to, but that's a really pretty tomato, Baba Room. I think I got seeds for that from Secret Seed Cartel. I pretty much grow every green or tricolor I can get my hands on. I'm not sure if this is for me or not. Dwarf Purple Heart and Dwarf Purple Heart Throb are two different tomatoes. They are. I crossed with Dwarf Purple Heart Throb. If I said otherwise, I apologize. All right, we ready for the last one? Oh gosh, like 20 minutes ago, I said I wanted to hold out until I did an unboxing. There's another unboxing. Like Ken's yesterday, I cannot believe I have not done an unboxing for Bunny Hop Seeds or Heritage Seed Market yet. It's almost like the ones that, like tried and trues from the United States that I've been ordering from for years. It's almost like I think it's not news to unbox, and it's so far from the truth. I've got an order coming in from Bunny Hop Seeds. It's otherwise known as Heritage Seed Market. But Ellie, who owns Bunny Hop Seeds, which is falls under the umbrella of Heritage Seed Market, there's 3 different breeders in there. One of them being her friend Timothy T, and I think he's from North Carolina. So this is a brand new one, and Ellie told me there are no new micro dwarfs coming out from Bunny Hop Seeds yet. Maybe in the spring. I'm helping her stabilize a couple things right now, but nothing to release yet. However, they did release other new tomatoes. And this one, she said, is not to be missed. Before I share it, again, I want to remind you guys who, I'm assuming you don't remember every darn word I say, because why would you? Why would you want to? I grew one of her varieties this year called Prime Rib, and it was a 32 tops. I want to say 30-inch plant, short, bushy, big purple fruits on it. I wonder if I have it on here from episodes gone past. No, I don't think so. So that was one of her selections, and that wasn't even supposed to be a dwarf. This next one is, and this was bred by her friend Timothy T. It's called Alma's Century Pink. It is a dwarf bred by Timothy T. of the United States. Doesn't look like much, right? Looks like a standard pink. She says, this is Ellie's words. First of all, it's an indeterminate potato leaf dwarf, mid-season. She says it's easily the largest beefsteak I have ever grown on a dwarf plant. Sounds like Nano's meatball dwarf. That's what Terry at Secret Seed Cartel said. For me, the tomatoes were amazing. One of the best I've ever had. They weren't super big. I'm not sure how stable that variety is. If you guys grew Nanos, did yours get super big? Mine didn't, but they're perfect size. I mean, they weren't small. They were just not a large beefsteak. This is supposed to be big. It produced more. In addition to having the largest fruit, it produced them more abundantly than any other beefsteak dwarf plant I have grown. This impressive dwarf is another newly developed winner from my friend Timothy T. in North Carolina. He described the interesting history. He says, this tasty pink beefsteak is from the dwarf line of Red House Freestanding, crossed with Prudence Purple. Alma's Century Pink is named after Alma Kale. She was a feisty lady who could grow anything and was a garden mentor for over 40 years. On her 100th birthday, she chose her favorite out of 4 of my pink tomatoes, and Alma's Century Pink was it. She passed away later that year and went as she always lived, feisty and happy. Alma's Century Pink is a very stocky, stout potato leaf dwarf that grows to 4 feet by the end of the season. It has both sweet and good old southern tang stand out. In a 5-gallon bucket, I average 7 to 10 ounce fruits. Wow, that's good. 5 gallons. With some up to 14 to 19 ounces. Grown in a 7-gallon container or in the raised beds, I average 10 to 14 ounces, with some up to 18 to 22 ounces. Wow. So I prefer to grow in larger containers or in the ground. The fruits I harvested were excellent, sweet and juicy with a plump, yielding texture. Thank you, Timothy T. So, like I said, I was going to wait to do my unboxing. However, she says in the listing that these seeds are going fast. So I'm going to put a direct link. There's a couple new things, and I think she said she was mailing my order a couple days ago. But I'm terrible. I get so excited to share with you guys that I just need to do it now, and I would hate for you to miss out on what sounds like a really great and special variety. Did I not put the link? Rats. Well, that's okay. It's easy to find. Just Google Alma's Century Pink. The only thing that will show up is from Heritage Seed Market. When I checked earlier this afternoon, it said she had 6 orders left. But often she restocks. I'll get, I ordered a couple packages because I know people from overseas, some of my vendor friends and other friends from overseas cannot order from Heritage Seed Market. So I want to make sure I had some to share. But she has at least 6 packages in stock right now. So that's Alma's Century Pink. And the story alone is why I'm going to grow it. Plus Ellie's editorial there makes it sound great. Can't believe I didn't put in the comments. That's okay though. Like I said, very easy to find. So let's go back what I talked about today very quickly. Okay. Don't forget, first birthday party for Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap on Monday, 4 o'clock Eastern. Okay, first one was Mrs. Gorby. Adorable, Mrs. Gorby. Thank you again to my friend who sent those to me. Burke from Tomato Fanny. Huevo de Toro, or Bull's Egg, from Spain. This is the one Kina posted in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap yesterday that she got from the grocery store, liked it so much, and from what I read in her comments, she bought more today. Primora, which is bred by a company called La Palma, also responsible for the very popular Spanish tomato, Amila. Or is Amila? Now I'm getting Amila and Adora mixed up. Shoot. Now I'm getting them mixed up. I forget which one they're behind. I think they're behind Amila. Did I write it down? Primora. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I think both Amila and Adora are trademarked, but I don't know if they're both by La Palma or not. So and Kina said this was a great one. My most wanted, and also one that I'm obsessed with right now, Habanillas from Spain, was voted best tomato in Spain at the second National Fair of Old Tomatoes. So that looks and sounds great. Baltic Chocolate, which is in stock at Tomato Eden and could be an F2. From Tomato Eden it is. And then an accidental cross, Blue Baltic Chocolate. Blasphemous Rumors by Bill Yoder. You can get this directly through Bill, among many other sexy tomatoes. And then Alma's Century Pink, which you can get from Heritage Seed Market. So there you go. That is today's Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce. And I hope you join Jen and I tomorrow night, December 6th, for our Tomato Talk Live, where we'll be talking about growing tomatoes indoors. And Lisa, my 2 nanos were pretty miserable. I don't know why. Interesting. Mine that I grew outside gave me quite a few tomatoes, but they were definitely drama queens, or kings, whatever. They produced like a determinant, and I don't think they're supposed to be. But she even says secret seed cartel. She's not sure. She released it before it was fully stable. So, so I'm going to continue trying to grow it and stabilize it for myself. Thank you, Satya. If you could like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Hey, Michael. I'll go through the whole 2-hour episode for you. Just kidding. Don't worry, gang. Cindy, Adora is wonderful. That's the one I was given seeds for, the non-hybrid version from my friend in Germany, and not dehybridized or anything, but from the company that puts out Adora. He somehow got seeds directly from them of a dehybridized version. So crazy excited. There's even a Facebook group devoted to growing Adora, I believe. I think Lucas Wallman told us about it. Anyway, thank you all for joining. I very much honor and respect those of you that watch recordings. This time is not great for everybody, but I do like that we get people from all over the world who are able to come in, because it makes it much more energized to me. And so tomorrow night with Jen and I, Tomato Talk Live, we're going to do the same, talk about growing tomatoes indoors. This will be under a grow light in just a couple minutes. Thank you, gang. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you put on your calendars, mark your calendars for Monday, December 9th for our Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap 2-year anniversary. And I will see you next time. Peace and love. Get your gratitude on and go grow tomatoes. Michael, look at my drop the micro. Look how productive. Nice, right? Bye, gang. See you tomorrow.